Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who we had World Enough and Time, where basically on a test of Missy being good, like the Doctor, they ran into Mondasian Cybermen, actually. Also, first and foremost, Bill was shot, killed, but then these guys came and revived her and gave her new parts, upgraded her, and eventually we learned that she became a Mondasian Cyberman, which is pretty cool. Also, there was this little creepy dude, and he turned out to be the Master, the John Sim Master, and he was there with a goatee, and I also noticed when I was editing, he had a goatee. Wait, was I editing or was I don't know. Well, he had a goatee, and he had just a black suit, like a classic Master, like a classic Doctor Who Master. So that was really, really cool. Nice touch there. But he was there because he was concerned about his future, particularly Missy possibly becoming good. And it seems like they have now teamed up to do something. We're not really sure what they're doing, but yeah. And that was pretty much that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. And I guess that's pretty much that. Yeah. I know that this is kind of the finale, kind of ish. Technically, I believe this is the finale of the season, but we do also have the Christmas episode that we'll be watching next week, so yeah. We also, at the beginning of last episode, we had the Doctor in a very, very cold, snowy place, and he was starting to regenerate, which was very interesting. So, yeah. I guess that's basically that. And we might as well get right into this episode of Doctor Who. Here we go. Wait, are those scarecrows or are people being crucified? Because they look like Cybermen, or, the incomplete Cybermen. Okay, people have been crucified. Oh. They're still on the ship, okay. Uh-oh, they got off the crosses. Okay, so they want to... I imagine they're here to try to upgrade humans. Oh, no. Alright, that wasn't exactly thunder. Whoa! Oh, no. Full Cyberman. Oh, no. So wait, was that one Bill? The hell is going on? Are they dancing with themselves?
So, I imagine you're the next one along, then?
I think so. I'm a bit hazy on the whole regeneration thing, I'm afraid.
Ah, that's clever.
I'm going to check.
Look, there's Bill. Dead.
Yeah.
Dismembered. Fed through a grinder and squeezed into a Cyberman.
Ugh.
Doomed to spend.
So they cured your little condition and kicked you out.
It was a mutual kicking me out.
Oh, so it got rid of the drums.
They happen everywhere, those people.
No.
Mondas, Telos, Planet 14, Marinus.
Marinus?
Like sewage, and smartphones, and Donald Trump. Some things are just inevitable.
Ah.
Doctor.
Don't say it like that, man.
You shouldn't have hit me, Missy. I was waiting for my chance.
He changed the programming and they didn't notice.
Changing the algorithm defining human life signs. I only had time to change one detail, a single number.
The hearts.
1 to a 2. 1 heart to 2 hearts.
So it's coming for all 3 of them now.
There's only ever been one way to stop that many Cybermen.
Their emotions. Me. Ah. It's interesting that Bill isn't doing anything then.
Knock yourself out.
Oh!
Your wish is my command.
I didn't mean that literally.
Secretly on your side all along, you silly sausage.
Really?
True.
It's hard to say.
I think she's on her side.
I got things first.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One of them got there. Oh, Bill! Does Bill retain her humanity? that's cool. Doesn't need the thing, but she's got the thing.
Doctor, you'll only slow us down. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh. Ah! Dang it. She's on her side, which is still his side.
Where am I? How did I... Sorry.
She's been deconverted.
I can't remember.
Everyone's too scared to talk to you. But I'm not.
Why are they scared?
Is she still a Cyberman? Yep. That's just how she sees it.
I'm fine.
Oh no. Oh, that's a good transition.
All that time living under the monks. You'll have to hang on to yourself.
But I'm fine.
That's an interesting
Look
way
at
of doing
me.
it.
What is that? Engine oil?
That was an accident here.
It,
It shouldn't be.
Doctor.
technically, you're still in there.
You alright?
It's fine.
Ooh. So that Cyberman hug.
Because conversion is easier than younger don't
He's holding off his own regeneration.
I don't want to live if I can't be me anymore. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Ah.
That's not
She'd
possible.
rather die than be a Cyberman.
Weird how you don't remember any of this.
Two of us together puts the timelines out of sync.
Yeah,
You can't retain your memories, so I don't have them.
that's true.
And aside.
Oh.
And aside.
Do as she says. Is the future gonna be all girl?
We can only hope.
Master's getting some weird lines today.
Why is it different? Why does it look like that?
It evolved.
Exactly. Since we left, they built a weapons-grade version to come after us.
Oh, great.
Just gave our position away. There's no safe way to get back to the TARDIS. It's a mathematical impossibility.
Oh, great. What an interesting thing, like, they can just evolve in a matter of minutes. And they've got the little teardrop on them. Uh-oh. They fly now! Oh, even the old schools fly. Oh my gosh, look at all these designs, man!
Your TARDIS is right at the bottom of the ship, isn't it?
Yeah, he should have one, actually.
I suppose.
Is it or isn't it?
Master, what did you do with your TARDIS?
No reason.
Damn, Nardole! Man, I do love Nardole now. I understand him now. He's actually kind of cool.
A very long time ago, a very scary lady threw
Oh.
me against a wall and made me promise to always, always carry a spare dematerialization circuit.
Did you?
I don't remember much about her now, but she must have made quite an impression.
Ah.
You know, is it wrong that I...
Yes. Very.
Is it wrong that you're turned on by yourself? Maybe a little.
No! When I say no, you turn back around. Hey! I'm not doing this because I want to beat someone, or because I hate someone, or because I want to blame someone. It's not because it's fun. God knows it's not because it's easy. It's not even because it works, because it hardly ever does. I do what I do because it's right. Because it's decent.
Well,
And above all, it's kind.
that's what he's been trying to teach
Just
Missy.
stand. Good people will die. If I stand and fight, some of them might live. Maybe not many, maybe not for long. Hey, you know, maybe there's no point in any of this at all. But it's the best I can do.
Yeah.
So, who I am. It's where I stand, where I stand. It's where I fall.
This is the face that didn't listen to a word you just said.
He didn't. But she did, didn't she?
Stand with me. It's all I've ever wanted.
To have his friend.
Oh, no. Sorry. Just... no. Thanks for trying.
Wow! No guns, just an exploding apple.
Now they think we're a military target, so they will fall back, regroup, and plan a much bigger assault.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
I want to hear the Cyberman voice say that. Good, ow.
Thanks for all the software.
Sir, with
that
respect,
was cool.
I'm worried about your plan.
So he's just gonna blow shit up with the Sonic.
I think as soon as I'm gonna name a town after you. A really rubbish one.
Oh,
Damn.
you know it.
And probably a pig. Oh, great, so she's allowed to explode.
Nah.
You're wrong, you know. Quite wrong. You never will be able to find the words.
Oh man.
And I will always miss it.
Is she? She stabbed him. She had a hidden blade. Aww. But him getting stabbed means he's gonna regenerate. That's crazy. He triggered his own regeneration.
It's time to stand with the Doctor.
Don't bother trying to regenerate. You got the full blast.
Oh, jeez. But wouldn't she she might remember it, though. Well, okay, then. Madman. I mean, yeah. I can't believe that this is the Master's end. This reminds me of the time of the Doctor. Telos, the Ice Tombs. That's Tomb of the Cybermen, isn't it?
Canary Wharf!
Oh,
Even on the moon.
even on the moon.
Doctors are not required.
Nah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I am the Doctor. The original, you might say.
Oh! He's totally gonna regenerate, though. This man is getting shot so many times. Ow! Oh. She's back.
I know when you're crying then. Time to go.
Oh, so she's...
I can make you human again. It's all just atoms. You can rearrange them any way you like. Put you
Okay.
back home.
I'm never gonna believe you're really dead. Because one day, everyone's just gonna need you too much.
Oh, that's cool. But,
Doctor!
can he still regenerate? Oh! Oh my gosh.
So talents refer to the course of human history.
No! Get up, you old bastard!
I don't want to go.
Oh no, don't say that!
But the Doctor was me.
Oh! Oh, that's cool.
Good start.
He's regenerating.
Regenerating. No. No.
Don't. Why are you stopping it? Why are you stopping it?
To change again. Never again.
Never? Oh, come on, man. Goo!
I will not change. I will not. No. The whole thing's ridiculous.
Hello? Someone there?
Wait a minute.
The doctor.
Oh, shit.
You may be a doctor.
Oh!
But I am the doctor.
Oh!
The original, you might say.
Oh, shit. Oh, the doctors will return at Christmas. Uh-oh. Oh, no. David Bradley as the Doctor. So that has to be... So, okay, I thought about it later. I was like, you know what? That looked like... this snowy place. Last time there was a snowy place, Mondasian Cyberman, was when he regenerated. Also, we're getting around to the time where this Doctor needs to regenerate. Oh, no. So this is before the first Doctor regenerates, isn't it? What was that? Yeah, that was an hour-long episode. Man, I didn't even realize it. That was an extra long episode. Well, good. Needed to be. Alright, I had to pull up the clock on the computer because Power of the Daleks #2 is going to go up today. So. Oh, no. So, he just defeated the Cybermen, and then he found himself defeating the Cybermen. Oh, man. So the first Doctor doesn't want to change either. The first Doctor doesn't want to change. And I bet that's why. Oh, man. That's why the TARDIS sent him there. Like, dude, you can't do this again. Oh my gosh, what a hell of a finale, man. And I know technically it's like, oh, this is the finale, right? Yes, but also we have another finale next episode because we have the Christmas special. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is insane, man. But again, hell of a finale. Hell of a finale, man. Just insanity up and down. Okay, so boy do we have a pattern with the Doctors now. We have a pattern where we'll have a Doctor who doesn't really have 2 cents about regenerating. It's just like, well, I guess it's my time. Oh well. And then they do it. And they regenerate into a Doctor. And that Doctor, by the way, will have a Doctor who's like, well, I guess now is my time. Time to regenerate. And when they do that, there's someone there to watch their regeneration and continue on with them in their next form. But then they regenerate into a Doctor who doesn't want to regenerate anymore. Is like, it's even if I change, it feels like dying. Every part of me dies and some new man saunters away, And when they regenerate, they're alone. They are alone. And they just, crash land, obviously. The only consistent thing is that there's a crash landing. And they just meet new companions, basically. They meet new companions because they were alone before. Alright, hold on. I'm publishing today's Power of the Daleks. Okay, good. So they regenerate, and they go through all of it until finally they're like, okay, well, it's my time again. Time to regenerate. I like this body. It was enjoyable. I will always remember when the doctor was me, but it's time to regenerate. And they do it. They regenerate. There's someone there. And then we get back to this guy being like, oh, I don't want to regenerate. I don't want to ever change again. I just want to be this form. And now we have to assume that this boy's going to regenerate alone. You know? Now, the interesting thing is this is a pattern of modern Doctor Who, not necessarily a pattern with classic Doctor Who, at the very least between 1 and 2. Because the first Doctor, as we see here, doesn't want to regenerate. And honestly, from what I gather, it feels like the first Doctor really put off his regeneration. And especially because, you know, the sort of explanation is it's not that he was particularly injured in any way, like the 12th Doctor is. 12th Doctor kind of got his ass kicked in this. But it wasn't even that. It was that the first Doctor was just old. He regenerated of old age. And yes, there are other factors that you can look at. You know, you could say, well, maybe Mondash drained some of his energy, which really pushed him over the edge. There's the stuff with the Daleks' master plan that, you know, sort of aged him and stuff. You know, I still hold that Doc Holliday yanking out his tooth contributes to him regenerating, but still, his old body is wearing thin, is what he said. But, so he doesn't want to regenerate. But at the same time, he did have people there, technically. Well, kind of. Were Ben and Polly in the TARDIS? I don't remember now. I don't know if they were in the TARDIS when he regenerated. I don't remember. They might have been. It was either that or, you know, because he falls over and then he regenerates. It may have been like he regenerated and then they walked in, you know? So they don't. Because that would make sense that they didn't actually see the change. I don't remember. You guys can clear that up. I mean, either way, they are still there. He still has the same companions after he regenerates the first time. So that's an interesting thing about the first Doctor to the second Doctor is that it breaks, you know, it's different from that pattern I talked about. But that's the thing is that there is a pattern with modern Doctor Who. The 9th Doctor had to regenerate. He's like, well, I guess it's my time. I had a good run. Time to go. And then he regenerates and he has Rose there. And then the 10th Doctor, you know, the 10th Doctor comes to life. He's got Rose and they continue. And then the 10th Doctor is all alone, and he's like, I don't want to regenerate, it's going to be like dying, I don't want to regenerate, no! Which also plays into, he started to regenerate, and then regenerated into himself, which cost him a regen. So that's the thing, is that it's like, you know, he had, as the 11th Doctor said, he had vanity issues, so he just couldn't accept it until eventually he was alone, regenerated, even though he didn't want to go. And then the 11th Doctor was just thrown into the 11th hour. The 11th Doctor then goes through, is like, you know, I've lived so long, and I've lived 900 years here on Trenzalore, I'm old as shit. But hey, I got these, you know, as soon as he gets the regenerations, he's like, oh, I can regenerate, yay! Everyone, I'm regenerating! And then he just does. He just regenerates. And that's it. And yes, he does, you know, they do the reset and he does the whole thing. And it's like, yeah. But he is so ecstatic about regenerating then. You know? He is so ecstatic to regenerate then. You know, that's the difference. And he still has Clara there. That's the other thing. Then we get this guy, who is now alone. He doesn't have Clara, he doesn't have Bill, he doesn't have Nardole, he is all alone, and now he is refusing to regenerate. He is refusing to regenerate. Should we... Now, okay, obviously I know we are pretty much at the end of Capaldi's run. because there's just sort of no getting around knowing that, at least for the modern Doctors. So I do want to go ahead. Should we take bets on once he regenerates, is the TARDIS going to crash? I feel like we need to start placing bets on that. Now, this is technically not fair because you guys have already seen the episode, so you guys know. But I want to go ahead and place bets. Will the Doctor crash the TARDIS again? Because every time he regenerates in the modern series, he crashes the TARDIS. Every time. 9 to 10, 10 crashes it. 10 regenerating almost destroyed the TARDIS. 11 to 12, I didn't even get this. Like, they start going, he just sort of regenerates. It's like, oh, okay, we're all good. I've got, this is great. I've regenerated. I've got new kidneys. I don't really like them, but they're kidneys. And then just crash. Oh, man. I'm glad that, the first Doctor to the second Doctor, they didn't crash. Why does he always crash the TARDIS? Stop regenerating in the TARDIS. Maybe that's why. The TARDIS is kicking him out. Go regenerate somewhere else, man. Tired of you fucking making me crash when you regenerate. I think the only time I know of, at least, I don't know the other, classic regenerations, but from the 8th Doctor to the War Doctor, it's okay, so the 8th Doctor to the War Doctor, he regenerates outside of the TARDIS, but also from the 7th Doctor to the 8th Doctor, he regenerates in the morgue, so... Okay. Let's talk shop. Let's talk this episode. Okay, what an interesting episode, because there honestly is no villain. Which is very interesting. You would honestly, going after last episode, it's like, okay, well, it's the Cybermen, but also it's the Master and Missy. But honestly, not really. Honestly, there is no villain. There's no villain to this episode, which is very interesting. Despite the fact that we have the Cybermen and 2 versions of the Master, they honestly don't have a villain. Like, they're just sort of adversaries, They're just sort of... I guess they're sort of antagonists, but they're not villains necessarily, So that was really interesting. I love the chemistry between the 2 Masters. That was clever. That was so amazing. Just how well they work off each other, And, okay, the 1 or 2 lines that he had about being a woman, they do sort of border on being like, okay, you're trying to be a little, like, okay, I see what you're doing, I don't know. But on the other hand, I sort of thought about it when he's like, oh, is the whole future girls, or whatever like that, and, the Doctor's like, oh, we can only hope so. It's like, I feel like that's less on the Master being, like, I guess that would be misogynistic. It's like, I feel like it's less about the Master being, the Master, like, not liking women or anything. It's like, no, the Master just doesn't like anybody. So, the Master doesn't like anybody. Especially that Master doesn't like anybody. I mean, hell, in season 3, it's like, oh, it's the girly and the freak. I can't tell which one is which. Like, he just hates everybody, The Master is an equal opportunity hater. It's the equality we should all strive for, honestly. No. That's just a joke there. But I did like the way the 2 of them worked off each other. And I did like that he kind of got turned on by himself, Because that's the thing, it's like, it's kind of his first, like, evil equal, Because he doesn't run into himself that often, So, but I like that it's like, is it wrong for me to, yes, it is. Like, it is. It's kind of weird that he's like, oh, well, hello there. It's like, oh, I was honestly curious, like, are they gonna make out? Is he gonna make out with himself, Like, that, I don't know. That would have been funny. Because that's the thing is that, the thing is, I feel like, especially with Missy, you know, the first time we see Missy, she's like, oh, I hope my boyfriend didn't, you know, hurt you too bad. You know, so she's always been sort of, you know, she's always kind of got a thing for the Doctor. And you know, we had last episode with the Doctor saying, it's like, oh, he was my man crush, you know? So it's like, there's always been, technically it's like, okay, there is something between them, but I feel like that's like happened more with Missy, just because the Doctor and Missy were opposite genders. So yeah, it's like, it makes sense that there would also be some weird connection between the Master and Missy. It's like, yeah, this is like the first time he's like, ooh, hello, you know? It's just so weird. It's so weird. And it's weird because it's the same person, you know? It is the exact same person. Ugh, anyway. Update. I did like that that was very clever that, you know, because that's a classic Doctor thing, is that, you know, you throw him into something, and then while he's like, oh, type. You know, like, that is some classic Doctor stuff. Like, he did that, like, in the Family of Blood and stuff like that. You know, so I like that he only had enough time to change one number, and he changed the definition of humanity from 1 heart to 2 hearts, which is very clever. So they all came after him. I like that. Okay, I wrote this down. Her side. So when Missy says, like, oh, I was always on your side, Doctor, and, you know, he's like, is that really true? And I was kind of thinking, like, well, I feel like she's on her side. You know, like, you know how we have, like, the Day of the Doctor and stuff, or the 3 Doctors or the 5 Doctors, where it's like, okay, they're, like, teaming up to do stuff. It's like, you honestly feel like if 2 Masters actually teamed up, they'd still be in it for themselves. Like, they couldn't team up with it. They can't team up with themselves, basically, you know? So, while I didn't think that Missy was on the Doctor's side, I figured she would be more on her side. So, yeah. Anyway, we had Retain Mind, so that was interesting that that Bill was able to retain her consciousness, basically, within a Cyberman. Because that's the thing, is that, you know, I like how they say, like, oh, well, because of all that time you spent, you know, countering the monks and stuff like that, that built up this sort of, you know, this built up a wall around your mind to keep your consciousness and protect it from the programming of the Cybermen. That was a good explanation because it's very believable. It's like, you know, she went through 6 months under, you know, the rule of the monks, plus, you know, just the stuff before that. So that does honestly make sense that, oh, that does allow her to retain her own mind, her individuality, when put into a Cyberman. And they do also say, you know, they're primitive Cybermen, especially, you know, her. She's a Mondasian Cyberman, and it's a very primitive model. So it makes sense that the primitive technology plus everything with the monks does allow her to basically be stronger than the Cyberman programming. So I like that. They explain it well enough. It's not just, you know, James Corden, you know, heard his son's cry and then he was able to get out and do stuff, you know. So I like the explanation for that. Oh boy. We're up to 1 hour and 23 minutes on this recording, and I have barely started the notes. Well, this was a great episode. This may be my favorite Capaldi finale so far. Maybe my favorite finale for a while. Like, what other finales have we... Well, okay, Name of the Doctor, I guess, was... Name of the Doctor was really, really good. The Time of the Doctor, I thought, was really good, too. Wedding of River Song was a bit nuts. The Big Bang was good, too, so... So yeah, but this one's definitely up there. So I'm curious how this is going to work into the Christmas special, because that honestly this may shape up to be one of the best Christmas specials, you know. Which didn't I say? What did I say was my favorite Christmas special? Was it Was that the snowman? It might have been the snowmen, honestly. But we'll talk about that next episode when we actually get to Christmas specials, which I know this is probably the Christmas special is probably going to go out on Patreon on December 30th and YouTube on, so what would that be, like January 6th? Yeah, January 6th. I know that I was so close to getting to that Christmas special during the Christmas season, but I'll be watching it during the Christmas season, so there you go. It'll just be our little leftover. Guys, Christmas is going into January is what I'm proclaiming. So celebrate Christmas into January as I watch the next episode. But anyway, we'll get to that next time. Okay, so he started... His body wanted to regenerate after the freaking Cyberman bear hug. So right there, his body was like, all right, bro, time to regenerate. And he was like, no, not doing it. And he was able to hold it off very easily, you know? So that was interesting. So it's a good way of like, again, it's kind of, you know, it does sort of remind me of the first Doctor where it's like, you know, yes, the first Doctor's like, oh, you know, this body's wearing thin and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, well, dude, you've been through a lot lately, you know? Got your tooth yanked out by Doc Holliday and stuff like that. So they do it well where it's like the Doctor is getting fucked up in this episode. He keeps getting hurt, and his body is like, dude, we have to regenerate. But he won't. Tears. Where there's tears, there's hope. I like that. That is a classic sappy Doctor Who line, and I love it. So, and again, it just shows, you know, how different. It shows that Bill is different from the rest of them. Now, I do remember in, I guess it was Doomsday, when the Torchwood lady, she, I guess, retained her individuality somehow. I don't fully remember how. God, that was 8 seasons ago at this point. But, you know, she retained her individuality, and when she was crying oil. Oh, God, excuse me. But Bill was actually crying tears, so that was interesting. So, yeah. I was going to say something else. Oh, okay, so all the other Cybermen, you know, the newer designs, they have the little teardrop in them. And it does sort of look like, you know, it kind of, I don't want to say like, oh, that's because Bill was able to cry, but she was able to cry, so that sort of created her teardrop, whereas they just normally have an indent. But I don't remember when that started. Like, I don't remember if that specific design choice, like, of having the little teardrop embedded into the Cyberman's eye, if that was part of the classic series too. Like, obviously not part of the Mondasian Cybermen. I don't think it would have been in Tomb of the Cybermen, which I believe that is when they reference Telos. I believe that's Tomb of the Cybermen. But I'm talking like Earthshock Cybermen. I'd have to look at them again. So, yeah. Evolve. I do like that it's like, oh yeah, because of the time dilation, you know, we have this, because of the time dilation, we have, you know, this difference in time. So while we're up here spending, you know, 2 weeks, they're spending, you know, a ton of years evolving and getting stronger. So that was really, really cool. Where it's like, oh, now we have the more modern Cybermen, you know? Which I do like. I do prefer their latest design, or at least the design that was introduced in Nightmare in Silver. I like that design the most, I feel. Or at least better than the whatever the design is called from the alternate universe. So those are just, you know, so huge and bulky, you know? But yeah, I like that whole thing about evolution. The shotguns, I don't even know how the hell you just like... Oh, well, at first I was like, oh, is he like reprogramming shotguns somehow? And it's like, no, it's because he figured out... excuse me. It's because he figured out the whole stuff with the fuel lines and how to detonate them. So that was really cool. Just Kind. I did like that, the doctor's speech, and yeah, the master is a dick as always. Like, this is the face of a guy who didn't listen to a word you just said. But yeah, that was interesting. Just the whole thing. It's like, he's not out here to win, He's doing this because it's right. Even if he can't save all of them, maybe he could save some of them, even just for a little while, It's what he does. It's the right thing to do, and the master will never understand that. But Missy did sort of understand that. So yeah. And I like that at the very least that, at first she hesitated, even though she was like, no, I can't, but thank you for trying, She did appreciate that the doctor tried to save her, and she did think about it, which with all the time that she's had, it's like, yeah, that's pretty good, that was significant progress that he made, just not enough. Well, okay, not enough at that moment, but then we did get later that she was ready to stand with the doctor, but the master wasn't. So I get the feeling this is going to be the end of Nardole. And we're not going to see him again. So I assume, now I could be entirely wrong, and next episode we'll see him and it'll be like, oh, hey, there he is. But this feels like a fitting end to Nardole, that he's going to take care of these humans now. So that was really, really good. I like that. So yeah. And then we had Stab and Shoot. Missy stabbed herself in her own back, which was pretty crazy because she's got like this Assassin's Creed, hidden blade. That was clever. And I like that she says, like, oh, I was very precise. You'll be able to get back to your TARDIS and then regenerate. So that was clever. And then, so yeah, he goes off, regenerates, presumably into her, regenerates into her, and then that's when, she goes off and then starts everything in motion for Series 8, and gives Clara the number at the shop and stuff like that. So that's really cool to see. And then, but she got shot with a full blast from his laser screwdriver, which is interesting. So, and that's the thing. He even says, like, don't bother to regenerate. It won't work. So essentially he just killed himself, which is interesting. But while this may be the end of Missy, I don't think this is going to be the end of the Master. But I mean, it's going to be tricky for her to get out of this and regenerate, but this is the Master we're talking about. The Master has been dead 28 times aside from his regenerations. So I imagine that Missy somehow will come back and regenerate. So somehow, but we'll have to see if the Master ever does come back. So anyway, but we can talk about that later. And then the Doctor just blows shit up. Like, that was crazy. He just blew up all the Cybermen. Like, oh, that's that. Just blew them all up. And blew himself up in the process. Jeez. And then the girl comes back out of nowhere. Girl comes back out of nowhere and is just like, oh, well, I was inside you or something. Maybe poor choice of words, but I don't know. I didn't see that coming at all. It's like, oh, okay. But I mean, the way they explain it's like, okay, I guess. Like, interesting. So now she is, because the water, was in her with the tears, so she was a part of Bill. So because she was a part of Bill, now Bill has left her body and has become part of her. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. It's interesting. Like I honestly I get it, but it's also like, well, that just sort of came out of nowhere. But okay, cool. I guess that's a fitting end for Bill. So I guess technically it's not dying. It's because she is living on through the water, but so I guess it's not as tragic as the rest. Which I mean, I guess in a way that's sort of like, you know, Clara in her diner TARDIS, like, going throughout all of space and time now because she can, you know, she can. She's already dead, but she can just keep going. So, going to Gallifrey the long way around. So I guess it's not, I don't know, it's not as tragic. I mean, because that's the thing, is that she can, it's basically just another form of life. You know? It's another form of life, which I guess is not a tragic death, but still. But nobody just leaves anymore. Nobody just goes and lives a normal life like Martha. Martha is the only one to do it. But we'll get over it. So, it's honestly not bad. And yeah, you know, I would imagine they could find a way to bring Bill back for like a guest spot if they wanted to, you know? So, yeah. So, she's off, and she was... I guess it did revive the Doctor, which I did like. You know, basically, I guess it started the regeneration, and then we get to see all of his companions, or at least his modern companions. That was really cool, seeing all of his modern companions, but, you know, you see Bill, Rose, Martha, Donna, Jack. You even get to see Jenny and Madame Vastra. You don't see Strax. Where the hell is Strax? Where the hell's Rory, by the way? You get to see Amy, but not Rory. You do get to see Clara, and then at the end is River. So he's up, and he has to regenerate. There's no way he can keep that regeneration off forever. But he's determined. He never wants to regenerate again, because this is just what friggin' happens every single time. Every single time. We're going through the cycle again. You know what this cycle means, though? Is that by the time we get to the end of Jodie Whittaker's run, she's going to be happy to regenerate, and then the person after her is going to not want to regenerate, because that is the pattern we have established. That is the damn pattern we've established with modern doctors. So, the Doctor doesn't want to regenerate, the TARDIS has taken him somewhere, and my laptop's computer fan has just turned on. Don't know what's going on there. That's alright. But the TARDIS has taken him to Antarctica, 1986, December. Because there was another time when he didn't want to regenerate. And so I imagine someone's going to have to knock some sense into him. So, we are going to get an adventure with the First Doctor. And I do love that they can do that. They can bring back the First Doctor because they have David Bradley. That is super, super cool. I love that. The original, you might say, which is what they say in... that's what you say. That's what they say in the Five Doctors. It just so happens I'm the Doctor. The original, you might say. Which, that was the thing back then, you know, it was like, oh, regeneration, and the Fifth Doctor's like, fourth. It's like, oh, goodness me, there's 5 of me running around now. It's like, think about this one. It's like, a regeneration, it's like, I've regenerated so much, they had to give me a new cycle of regenerations. Technically, I am the 12th Doctor, but technically, I'm number 14 if you count 10 and 10.2 as 11. So yeah, man. That is super crazy. But I love that. I love doing that. You know, it makes me think like, oh man, I wonder if you could like. They did cast someone as Patrick Troughton in An Adventure in Space and Time, so maybe you could bring him back as the second Doctor. Yeah, he didn't get much screen time, but maybe you could bring him back. So, I'd love episodes like that. But we are getting into next episode. The 12th Doctor and the first Doctor are going to have an adventure before, I guess, both of them regenerate. So yeah, what an amazing finale! This is just amazing, and that's the thing. It's a finale, but we also have another finale next episode. So I'm very, very excited to get into it. I can't believe I have to wait a week. And this sucks, but that's all right. But yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.